is similar. Okay, so what they do is that they take plastic waste and then they convert it into high fashion goods. So they take what people throw away and then they add creativity and create something that people can use, either bags or clothes, or so they just take waste products and then create fashion items out of it. And they give employment opportunities for the street youth and unemployed artisans. The next social entrepreneur, I don't know whether you heard about him, is Bright Simmons from M Pedigree. I'm sure everybody knows about him.
How many of you have heard of him?
How many of you have Bright Simmons?
Only one person.
I've heard of M Pedigree, but not.
Okay, so M Pedigree, well, Bright Simmons is one of the brains behind M Pedigree. It's very popular for that. What basically they do is that they have a mobile solution where you can check for counterfeit drugs. So say you go and you buy a particular drug, you can scratch and then send a code, and then you get a text message back saying that the drug is fake or it's not fake. I mean, it's very simple in the idea, but it goes a long way. In countries like Nigeria and in other parts of Africa, counterfeit drugs, I'm sure it's big also in Ghana, counterfeit drugs are huge, so it's really solving a big problem. And the next social entrepreneur is called Anne. What she does is she uses mobile gaming to create awareness about a particular social issue. So what they had is they had two games. There was one game that talked about street safety for the children. So as you play the game, you learn. So it's learning to play. And the next social entrepreneur is okay, I'll just say Harry. She has the very digital village. So what they do is that they hold technology training for the youth and also for women in farming. So by SMS, you get important information, best farming practices, sales. They are like Isoko and Farmerline. I don't know whether you've heard about them. Yes. So a similar model. And the next entrepreneur, social entrepreneur, is me. So the program that I was talking about is the Growing STEMs program. So you know in Ghana, our main problem is that we are consumers. We don't create. So now we're having a tech boom where we're trying to create, like Mobile Web Ghana is training the next mobile creators. Now, in some generations to come, if Ghana is not able to like create scientists or engineers who are able to build like local solutions to our problems, we're gonna have a problem. So we'll just keep waiting for foreign aid, keep stretching out our arms because we don't create anything in it. So the Growing STEMs program is a mobile learning center. So what we do is we have applications that run on web and mobile. So we have a mobile center. So it's actually a van. We're trying to get solar panels on it in case, you know, right now electricity is highly unstable. Yes. So we go to the rural communities. So we take the kids through science, technology, engineering, and maths through applications on mobile. So we take different devices, mobile phones, tablets, laptops, PCs. I want to tell you about the Raspberry Pi. Oh, I should have. Sorry. The Raspberry Pi is a credit-sized computer. I should have put it up. I'm sorry. That is used for education. So what you do is you just plug one part to a monitor or a TV, and the other part to a keyboard. So we're going to be deploying some of those as we take it to the rural areas. And actually, they'll conduct experiments. So no more talk. You know, our educational system is very memorization. You just do true and pour. No experimentation. I mean, when I did chemistry in secondary school, we were afraid to break the beaker because if you break the beaker, you pay. So I remember titration and all that. You just memorize the answer, then you work your way to the answer. But I don't remember any of the science experiments, and I can't even use them now. So we'll actually have the kids conduct experiments and actually like conduct experiments for a problem that they have in the community. And finally, we'll give scholarships, obviously, because we want the program to continue. So these are some pictures from the Growing STEMs program. So this was a computer mania program. So here the kids are doing a little bit of robotics. And here we're taking them through some of the applications and games that we have on the mobile, on the laptops and the tablets. Here we were in Iprakututu in an orphanage, and here we were in a deaf school, the state school of the deaf. You know, the disabled are really taking out, but technology can bridge that gap because what we had was we had an application that's sign language. So there was a signing monkey. So when the girls click a button, they will actually sign. So they can communicate, I can communicate. So there are all these applications that we can do to help like the disabled in the society instead of like excluding them. Because when we went, we realized that they are very limited in their aspirations. Most of them just aspire to either be caterers or drivers. So they are a little bit of deaf drivers around. Exactly. They don't aspire to be anything more than that. I mean, it's just very limited because our community doesn't cater for the disabled. But technology can sort of integrate them into our society so they don't have to feel left out. Okay, so some stats. The one question I get is, so how do you make money? You know, it's like everybody's like, okay, so you want to sort of do and help out, but how are you actually going to make money? And that's a good question.
Somebody told me to ask you this question, so I think I answered.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, ask you that, how do you make money?
Yes. I mean, I get that question quite a lot. Everybody goes like, okay, so it's nice and good, but you have bills to pay. I mean, you have to pay your rent and so many other things. How do you actually make money? I'll just start with some stats from the West. Okay, so in the UK, there are currently 55,000 social enterprises. And according to government figures, they are turning over 27 billion. Now, how you make money? There are several ways. You know, when you fix a problem, you may think, okay, so I'm just going to fix this small problem in this small area. But there can be a multiplying effect. So let's say M-Pedigree, for example. M-Pedigree started with the idea of getting rid of counterfeit products. So there's a technology company called Soronko that actually runs the technology behind M-Pedigree. So if they charge you a small fee per every SMS, right, for checking whether your drug is counterfeit, people are going to pay for it. So imagine, Soronko runs in US, China, Nigeria. Nigeria is a huge market. In fact, any mobile solution that goes to Nigeria exists. And then Ghana. Imagine the amount of revenue that you make from that. The other ways that you make money is, for example, at Soronko. Let me give a personal example. At Soronko, because we run a hybrid model, we also do like seller applications. So for the applications that we're going to do, for example, in the Growing STEMs program, we're actually going to sell them. Like if the kids are able to build a tiny solar panel or they're able to do something, we're going to sell those applications and generate funds. Also with social entrepreneurship, you have like big organizations that are looking for where to put their CSR funds. So they're looking to partner, they're looking to make a difference, but they don't know where to put the money and they don't know like how it's going to keep going, because there are so many NGO organizations that just sort of receive but don't really do anything to continue generating funds. So there are all these organizations that are looking to help out, to partner, so that they can take like one idea and then multiply it to something else. And then finally, I mean, especially when you use technology, there are so many things. So let's say if I build like Shop at Fintech. If Shop at Fintech is fixing a social problem, driving traffic to the small SMEs on the Fintech road, but then once it becomes very popular, you can run ads. Ads bring in revenue. You can even charge the small SMEs for other services. So immediately, you may not be thinking about how can I turn a quick profit. You'll be thinking about how do I solve a problem. But once you solve a problem, people are willing to pay or are willing to invest in making that problem, you know, a solution that keeps on running. So those are some of the ways that you make money. Next slide. Okay, so how to get started? I'm hoping that,
Okay. So I think the problem here with most people who want to enter entrepreneurship or some sort of business is starting capital. I mean, it's true that you can make money in the long run, but how to get started? That's the real problem.
Okay.
How did you get started? I mean, okay, apart from the competition.
Oh no, the competition offered no funding. That was just learning experience and exposure. How to get started? Now, this is how technology makes it brilliant, right? So you can skip over that. Okay. So you have no capital, right? And then let me tell you about some really killer applications that have sort of hit the market. There's one application called Ushahidi that was deployed in Kenya. Now, Ushahidi runs on social media, on Facebook, on Twitter, it's basically crowdsourcing. So if, let's say, during the elections, if maybe you see something, you just sort of tweet it, you put it on social media, it's sort of gathering information. Now, you don't need a lot of capital to start something like that because all the social media applications are free for now. You know, so you can start something like that where you are sort of gathering information and then putting it out there. Now, there's another application called Wheelmap. So what happens is that, you know,